Welcome to the weekly multi-platform service of Tri-County Unitarian Universalists based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous Florida people. I am not Nancy Garrison. I'm Jan Draycamp. Nancy was under the weather this morning. Hello to our members and friends, and special welcome to those who might be visiting here for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It is our respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly binds us together. For the curious and for the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found on your order of service and on our website, triuu.org. Our newsletter, included in the timetable, can also be found there under News and Events. We have announcements, but first mute your phone, or place it in airplane mode. Thank you. If you're here today for the first time, you'll notice our Reverend Christina is not here, but she's on vacation and will be back in the pulpit on January 11th. Please stay today after the service for our monthly bagel breakfast, not to be missed. Don't forget there's a New Year's Eve Day brunch at 11 o'clock at Eileen and Tom's. Please sign up on the sheet in the back of the sanctuary. Our January forum is at 4 p.m. on Thursday, January 8th. Jeannie Economos of the Farm Workers Association of Florida and Apopka will address current conditions for farm workers and immigrants. Learn how you can help farm workers and immigrant families in their communities. Please donate money or bring food donations. Supplies for diapering and hygiene are also welcome. I'll put in a plug. I worked with the farm workers in 2000 on a special project for a week in Apopka. This concludes our announcements, and as we begin the service proper, we will recite our vision statement. Please join with your voice as we recite together. We will be an influential voice for progressive religious values in a diverse community. Our chalice keeper today is Joan Shepherd. Joan, where are you? Thank you, as I light the chalice.
As we enter into the light of our chalice, hear the words of Marvin Ashton. Be the one who nurtures and builds. Be the one who has an understanding and forgiving heart, one who looks for the best in people. Leave people better than you found them.
That should bring a smile to your face this morning. As they say, our guest needs no introduction, according to people who know Tracie, a friend of our congregation who was an intern here for a couple of years, and we're so glad she's back. But I'll do an introduction anyway. Tracie, Reverend Dr. Tracie Barrett lives in Orlando, Florida, with her husband and 3 cats, and considers herself to be a UU evangelist, sharing the good news about our liberal and liberating faith. Reverend Tracie is a minister of ritual and liturgy for the Soul Fire Project, a collective dedicated to creating transformative experiences rooted in a holistic, expansive, and theologically dynamic Unitarian Universalist. In addition, she spends her summers serving as a chaplain for our youth and emerging young adults in Quest camps in Idaho and Wyoming. She also serves as the Senior Associate Minister at All Souls, Miami.
Thank you. It is good to be back with you all again this morning. Our invitation to centering words are by Monica Clark Robinson. Love is the doctrine of this church. Many UU churches begin services with this phrase, and it's a worthy principle. But can we go further? Can we try? There's a word I invite you to contemplate this morning, agape. Agape love, a radical, quiet, boundless, unconditional love. Agape love is the love we have for God, the universe, the interconnected web, for whatever words for spirit make your heart sing. Agape is also the love Spirit has for us. And if we can find God in the face of everyone we see, we can have agape love for others, and even, imagine, for ourselves. Then we'll understand that our worth doesn't depend on how many Valentines we got, or if our girlfriend thinks we're cute, or if our mother said, "I love you," often enough. Can we let everything that isn't capital L, love, fall away just for a while and try, as the song says, to hold the whole world in our hands? Can we love ourselves enough to remember that we too are divine? Can we love others enough to care deeply about what matters to them, even if we don't understand it? Can we love the world enough to give part of ourselves in service, even in sacrifice to its wholeness? Can we love Spirit enough to let it in when it comes knocking, as it is right now in this moment? Come in, love, and welcome. Please rise and embody your spirit as you're willing and able to join us in opening hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us, and we are doing 5 verses. I hear you all have special extra verses, and I'm looking forward to hearing you sing them loudly. So please. Eustace, after this, I will already know the words to the extra verses, so thank you. Our time for all ages, or whistle stop today, is called The Frog Prince by Christopher Bice. There was once a little girl who was walking beside a creek when she happened to see a frog that looked very sad. I wonder why that frog is so sad, she asked herself. Then she remembered a story once told to her by her mother about how a girl had kissed a frog and how the frog had magically turned into a handsome prince. Maybe that's why this frog is so sad. No one will kiss it so that it can become a prince. She decided that she would give the frog a kiss herself. But nothing happened. There was still just a frog sitting in her hand. She set the frog back on the ground and said, "Poor froggy, I'm sorry. I could not turn you into a handsome prince." The frog replied, "Oh, but you have done something far better. You have made me a happier frog." And the frog hopped off with a great big smile on his face. So, if you're walking through the woods one day and happen to see a little girl picking up frogs and kissing them, don't try to stop her. She knows what she is doing. Frogs need love too, you know. You may not be able to see the frog change on the outside, but believe me, a little love and attention makes everyone feel like royalty on the inside. Thank you.
As we move deeper into our service, let us turn towards inward to consider transitions, the joys, the sorrows, and concerns we all experience in our life's journey. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and the hope of concern. After those present have placed stones in the water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the water on behalf of those not physically present and those who have chosen not to or who are unable to come forward. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is in your heart. When all the stones have mingled in the water and all have shared, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. At the sound of bells brings us back into community, we will sing our response, "Find a Stillness." Ushers, you may come forward. Let us take a moment to reflect upon our own joys, concerns, and sorrows, and those of others. Receive our offering. If you are visiting us for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest, and we are happy to have you here with us today. This is a time in our service when those who wish to make some monetary contributions to our congregation's vision and mission give to support this community and its outreach. If you're putting cash in the basket that you want credited to your pledge, please put the cash in a manila envelope with your name on it. Envelopes are available on the table at the back of the sanctuary. I invite the ushers to come forward.
I'm going to open today with the words from my colleague, Amy Patrice Shaw. She says, I was talking with God the other day, because we're cool like that. And God said, hey, I want you to tell people something. And I was kind of busy, so I pretended like I didn't hear. And God poked me and said, I'm not kidding, pay attention. Because while we're cool, we aren't that cool. And I know when I have pushed it way too far. So I put down my coffee cup and I turned around and God said, let me hang a word around your neck so that everyone can see it. And you better speak it when you're out, because I'll know if you don't, and it will be heavy, so heavy on your soul. And a word was hung around my neck to take out to the people standing in the streets. A word was preached into my ear and laid into my mouth and burned into my heart until all I could see was the shape of the word, and the word was all, and the word was love. And God said, now get out because you don't have all day and that word is going to get heavier and you've got some work yet to do. So I'm taking my word out into the world. Love came down on this green earth. Love came down and turned over tables and set the world on its end. Love made it clear that it was a word for the poor and the brokenhearted, for the queer boy and the angry girl. Love was the word for late night hookers and the long haul truckers, the heroin junkie and the runaway cutters. Love was the word for all of the screwed up and pushed over and too tired and I can't take no more. Love was the word for the HIV patient and the man with no papers. Love was the word for me and for you and for the saints and the sinners and the scramblers in between. Love came down and made a way for there to be a way. And then love said, we are never going back. He who has ears, let him hear. Love said, we are all a part of something bigger, and if you cannot rise with us, if you cannot love with us, then you should get the hell out of the way, because we aren't going anywhere, and you are in its path. He who has ears, let him hear. Love came down for the world to know, and I'm holding out this word so that even when you and God are just like that, you can't pretend you didn't know. I cannot put it down, not for a politician spewing hatred, not for a minister vomiting out bile in the costume of a saint, not for money, nor for country or for kin. I'm holding my word in my mouth because the next time I see God, I want to be able to say, you gave me a word and I carried it just the way you asked. You gave it to me and I took it and I showed it to everyone I met. You gave it to me and I showed it to her and Ger and Z and him. I showed it to them and they and those over there. I never put it down. I can never put it down. I was talking with God the other day because we're, cool like that. And God said, hey, I want you to tell the people something. And I was still kind of busy, so I pretended like I didn't hear. And God said, I'm not kidding, pay attention. Because while we're cool, we aren't that cool. And I know when I've pushed it way too far. So I put down my coffee cup and I turned around. And then God gave me a word. And now I've given it to you. Start moving. Thus ends the reading. I first heard these words during seminary, and they always stuck with me because I believe that love can change the world. I believe love can save this world. And here's the thing. Out of all the things I was taught in my time in Protestant and evangelical Christianity, the thing that stuck with me the most was there was only one commandment Jesus ever gave. One. Just one. You see, the teachers and the scribes came to this rabbi who was wandering around the area, teaching the people wild teachings about taking care of the marginalized, the poor, the ones on the edges of society. They came to him and began to ask him questions. And one of the questions was, what did Jesus consider to be the greatest commandment? Now, it's important to remember that Jesus was a Jew and was raised in this tradition and knew its laws and its lessons. So this questioning was basically a quiz to see if they could trip him up. And he answered first that the greatest commandment is the Shema, or the prayer said twice daily by the Jews. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. Now that was the greatest commandment to the Jews. And Jesus could have stopped there because, he answered the question. However, Jesus, being the social activist that he was, took it another step. The story goes like this. After answering the question, he followed with this. The second is this, love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Now hang with me, because we're about to go down a geeky little rabbit hole. I've been to a lot of schooling since I left you. First of all, what do you say to that question? What do you say if you're the guys who asked that question? He answered the question correctly and then added a comment. Do you get mad that, about the comment and make it seem like he did something wrong, or do you just let it slide? Because here's the thing. In the Greek, the word they used for love is the same one for both commandments. Love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. That word for love, same. And the Greeks had a lot of words for love. There's a lot. They're used all throughout the early Christian scriptures. There's unconditional love, friendly love, family love, etc., etc. Lots of words. So it's kind of telling that here in this verse, love, and I'm looking specifically at Mark 12:31, is agapeho, which is love as a verb. One of the commentaries I read said this about it. It is, quote, a discriminating affection which involves choice and selection. Choosing to love, actively loving. All right, cool. I can love my neighbors here in this congregation because usually this is what was meant by the word neighbor in many of these teachings. In the Hebrew scriptures, the word for neighbor in love your neighbor is one meaning the people of your tribe, but not here. No, here, and again, hang with me, the Greek for neighbor here is plesion. And this word means not just the people who live in your community, your house, who share your beliefs or are from your family. No, in this passage, neighbor means anyone, regardless of race or religion or with whom we live or whom we chance to meet. Anyone who we might meet is our neighbor, which means that there are people out there who we have not yet crossed paths with who are our neighbor. So what is this new commandment saying? You should actively love with choice and intention those who you may meet regardless of how alike or different they are from you. And you might be thinking, but what about, that person too. Now don't get me wrong, I had some too come up in my head. And this love does not mean we don't also fight for those facing injustice. You see, the important thing to remember is that the story of Jesus isn't about this cool hippie teacher. No, it's about a teacher who was spreading a message of love, compassion, justice, and mercy for all. Yes, all. And we see it in the beginning of the book of John in the early Christian scriptures. It's said there that God sent Jesus not to condemn the world, but so that the world might be saved through him. Through his mission, his teaching, his preaching. It's there in the front of that story to set the stage for his ministry. Jesus has lessons for us. Yes, even us Unitarian Universalists, about calling out the powers that be that want to dehumanize our neighbors. Lessons about compassion, lessons about mercy, lessons about justice. I contend that the takeaway from the story about Jesus is not about the death and resurrection. No, I contend that the takeaway from the story of Jesus is that loving people and working and fighting for the best for everyone is a revolutionary act. When we rise up against the powers that be, it may not be easy. It's probably not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you. Have you listened to the words coming out of some of their mouths? Heck, just loving them is hard most days. But my friends, it is that love, that active love that is thought about and chosen that will give us strength to rise up, because it is that love that fuels this work. That love that says, I may not understand you, I may not think like you, I may not love like you, I may not look like you, and I love you anyway. Dr. Kent M. Keith wrote a book called The Paradoxical Commandments. And the first commandment is, people are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. Love them anyway. Love doesn't mean a free pass to abuse or oppress. Love means calling our neighbors to be their best self. And sometimes that might not look like we love people, especially when they're being the furthest thing from their best self. But loving them in this way that's talked about in the early Christian scriptures is to continually call to that part of them that is better and encourage it and grow it and then celebrate it when it does. It means saying out loud, this choice you're making is hurting people. It's not right. Help me understand why you think it's okay for you to do this. And know that I love you and I believe that you are better than this. No one said it would be easy. And one could argue that no one ever said it would be this hard. But we have a lot of stories from a lot of sacred traditions that tell us a lot of teachers have come to us and told us exactly that. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love them anyway. And before you think I'm skimming over that love yourself part, I'm not. Same love word applies there as well. We are to actively choose to love ourselves. And sometimes that's harder than loving the guy who's yelling at the intersection, right? I get that. But guess what? Love yourself anyway. Here's the deal. You, me, the people in here and out there and who we may chance to meet, they, are all made of the same elements as the stars. How cool is that? And because we're all made of the same star stuff, we're all pretty special. Love them anyway. If you struggle and have a hard time loving people who are absolutely diametrically opposed to you, and trust me, that's a real feeling and a real struggle, and I'm right there with you, start smaller and love the fact that we all contain star stuff, because that's a bit easier, and still love them anyway. I'm going to close like I began because I believe it's important when a good word has been shared to repeat it so that it really sinks in. So here again, the words of Amy Patrice Shaw. I was talking with God the other day because, we're cool like that. And God said, hey, I want you to tell the people something. And I was kind of busy, so I pretended I didn't hear. And God poked me and said, I'm not kidding. Pay attention. Because while we're cool, we aren't that cool. And I know when I've pushed it too far. So I put down my coffee cup and I turned around and God said, let me hang a word around your neck so that everyone can see it. And you better speak it when you're out, because I'll know if you don't. And it will be heavy, so very heavy on your soul. And a word was hung around my neck to take out to the people standing in the streets. A word was preached into my ear and laid into my mouth and burned into my heart until all I could see was the shape of the word, and the word was all, and the word was love. And God said, now get out, because you don't have all day, and that word is going to get heavier. And you've got some work yet to do. So I'm taking my word out into the world. Love came down on this green earth. Love came down and turned over tables and set the world on its end. Love made it clear that it was a word for the poor and the broken-hearted, for the queer boy and the angry girl. Love was the word for late-night hookers and the long-haul truckers and the heroin junkie and the runaway cutters. Love was the word for all of the screwed up and pushed over and too tired and I can't take no more. Love was the word for the HIV patient and the man with no papers. Love was the word for me and for you and for the sinners and the saints and all the scramblers in between. Love came down and made a way for there to be a way. And then love said, we are never going back. He who has ears, let him hear. Love said, we are all a part of something bigger, and if you cannot rise with us, if you cannot love with us, then you should get the hell out of the way, because we aren't going anywhere, and you are in the path. He who has ears, let him hear. Love came down for the world to know, and I'm holding out this word so that even when you and God are just like that, you can't pretend that you didn't know. I cannot put it down. Not for a politician spewing hatred, not for a minister vomiting out bile in the costume of a saint, not for money or for country or for kin. I'm holding my word in my mouth because the next time I see God, I want to be able to say, you gave me a word and I carried it just like you asked. You gave it to me and I took it. And I showed it to everyone I met. You gave it to me, and I showed it to her, and Gur, and Z, and him. I showed it to them, and they, and those over there. I never put it down. I can never put it down. I was talking with God the other day, because we're cool like that. And God said, hey, I want you to tell the people something. And I was still kind of busy, so I pretended like I didn't hear. And God said, I'm not kidding, pay attention. Because while we're cool, we aren't that cool. And I know when I've pushed it way too far. So I put down my coffee cup and I turned around, and then God gave me a word, and now I've given it to you. Start moving. Beloveds, I encourage you to love your neighbor as yourself with an active love that shows everyone who you might meet someday is your neighbor. Work for a better world for you and your neighbors. Rise up and share this radical love as you do the work we are called to do. And when people let you down, because they will, love them anyway. Amen. May it be so. and may we be the ones to make it so. Please rise and bow to your spirit for our closing hymn, number 159, This Is My Song.
That song gets to me every time. Joan, will you distinguish our mess? I will extinguish and you will speak.
As we extinguish our chalice today, take with you the words of the Dalai Lama. The best way to find common ground is to focus on our shared humanity.
I invite anyone who has just begun to visit with us and who wishes to do so to introduce themselves. Please raise your hand and an usher will bring a microphone to you. Please keep the microphone close to your mouth so we can hear you better. Okay, you want to rise? And here we go.
Hello, my name is Florence. I am Deb's daughter, and I am about to catch a flight back to Portland, Maine, but she always talks about how wonderful her community is, so I came to see it.
Welcome. Safe travels. In the back, Katie?
Hi, my name is Katie. I've lived around the community pretty much my whole life, but I came to check you guys out for the first time today. Thank you for being so welcoming.
Oh, thank you for coming. And could I ask our old friends to stand and say hello to us? Marcia and Sandy? Wait for the microphone.
Hi, I'm Sandy. Is it on? Okay, I'm
Yes.
Sandy, and this is my wife, Marcia.
I'm Marcia Schlosser, and it's really good to be here. We're from Norfolk, Virginia, normally, and we're here for the next 4.5 months, so we'll be around.
Anybody else lurking somewhere? Okay. Well, I would like to say that if you want to receive regular communications on upcoming events, please take and fill out a guest card, which will be available at the door after the service. On January 24th, there will be a class for those wanting to know more about Tri-UU. Please sign up at the table in the back of the room. If you can't or don't want to wait until then to ask your questions, please see Andrea at the table after the service. We've got time today, so we can talk to Tracie about the service today. So if you want to let us know how you felt about what Tracie's message was today, please raise your hand and a microphone will magically appear. If you are on Zoom, raise your hand and to speak, or type your comment in the chat box. Anybody have anything to say? Yes, we've got India.
Hi. Tracie, that was really good in this time of hate and everything. It reminded me of Al-Anon's welcome. When someone comes in for the first time, or they always have a welcome saying, you may not like all of us, but we already love you in a very special way. And that's what your sermon reminded me of.
I just wanted to say, thank you. And about the love thing, I try, but, I'm having a hard time loving the people I hate so much. So that kind of hit. And I was listening to a lady who I listen to a lot. I don't think I should give her a plug, but she did a Christmas talk. And she said that in Puritan times, I guess the 1650s, she said there was a man who had like 12 children, and 11 of them were going to heaven, and they were great, but one was a real bad person. And no matter how much he tried, he could not love that wayward one. And he never gave up. And I got to thinking that all those people that I hate, somewhere there's a mother going, well, I love you. I don't like you, but I love you.
Okay. Coming your way.
Every time I hear that phrase, God spoke to me, am I just missing something? Because am I not paying attention? I don't think God ever spoke to me. My mother spoke to me in words like God might. But am I missing something?
Well, sometimes, so I know for me, God doesn't always speak to me in like the words. I mean, it happens when I haven't been paying attention. Like I will admit that that's why I love that reading so much, because I've been there in the whole, hey, I'm trying to get your attention. So I've learned that God speaks to me in ways of like those little kismet things that happen, or where something happens, you meet somebody who you might not have met, but you happen to go to a place, right? So sometimes it's little nudges of, why don't you try going there? Why don't you do this? Why don't you say hi to that person? Why don't you, those types of things I think are also God or the Spirit speaking to us in a way. So just because you don't necessarily hear it as direct, maybe that's because you actually pay attention the first time and don't have to be told, like some of us.
Hi, Helene Kirschbaum here. And sometimes I know when God talks to me, because I could feel it inside of me, that it's like, quit, leave me alone already. Come on. But, and sometimes it seems like loving certain people is contrary to loving myself.
Yes.
Okay, so if I think I've got to love myself first in order to love other people, I guess I got to think, loving others doesn't mean I have to hang with them.
Right.
Okay, loving others
Yep.
doesn't mean I need to forgive them.
Yep.
Or need to allow them to abuse me.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's just something, because I really fight loving some of these people around here. Not here, I don't mean here. Okay, you know, you're
Now
my
everybody's like,
mishpacha.
oh, how'd I piss off Helene?
Okay, so you're my family. But loving some of the people out there is really difficult.
It is. I don't get it right either. Like, I struggle. So don't think just because I got some degrees and some titles means I got this under the, this sermon's for me as much as it is for y'all. So,
And then I think, I don't know if sometimes I've avoided being with them because of taking care of myself. So then I'm not actively loving them if I'm not being with them. And unless I say my not being with them is loving them,
Yes.
because
Yes.
they don't want to be with me either.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I
So-
have family I don't talk to. I still love them. I love who they could be, but I know that who they are now is not safe for me. And so to love them from a distance is better because I can maintain that love without having to be in their presence and have myself be harmed. So, and it's a struggle because often we hear, oh, you gotta love everybody, you gotta be friends with them, you gotta hang out. You don't. No, you don't. You can love them while they're over there. And you can love who they could be or who they once were or who they might be once they break out of thought patterns or whatever. And that's perfectly okay. And yes, loving yourself is that first piece because you do need to make sure and prioritize your mental health and your safety. And I do think it's possible to love from a distance because I do it a lot. So.
Joyce Mills here. I've learned to love the evolution of me. And I think that's very important because loving the various steps that I have taken to be where I am today helps me to love others, even if I may disagree with them. While I have the mic, I want to thank all of you for your love and your caring for my week in the hospital and then the death of my great-great-granddaughter. And thank you for loving me through that.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that, Joyce. Oh. Right here. Right there first and then over there.
I've encountered several Christians as of late who have used the scriptures in the Bible regarding loving your neighbor in a way that I was never raised to believe. But so I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on the Greek translation of neighbor, because they are using it to say, well, this is what the real original says, that it's only the people like who look like me and pray like me and live near me, and yay, ice.
Yeah. No, so that was so in the Hebrew translation, in the Hebrew scriptures, and when God gave the law and the word, and that the word neighbor meant tribe, the people in your tribe, right? So all the Israelites, and then but that was also why they were very important about welcoming the stranger, because the stranger is not yet your neighbor, but you welcome them in and they might become your neighbor, right? Jesus flipped it on its head by saying, no, the neighbor, the word neighbor that he used was anyone you know or you may happen to meet along the way. And so that broke that open and said, no, your neighbor is anyone on earth, anyone you might maybe meet someday, that's your neighbor. And that was the part that kind of, got the whole thing rolling of them being angry and killing him because he was preaching these things that were very transformative, right? To tell a society that was very tribe-based that, no, your neighbor's more than this, was huge in the time. So does that help? Did that answer it? Okay.
I just wanted to say that, in my mind anyway, loving does not mean condoning.
Right.
It can still mean having your own principles and your own values and deciding what you will put up with or support or whatever. But the other thing I wanted to say is that when I first came to UU, it was shortly after my partner had died. I knew few people in the area, and the people that lived in my neighborhood were dying. and I came with an attitude about, I'm going to go and I'm going to see and I'm going to decide who I will love and who I won't, or who I will even like and who I won't. But I walked in the door, and from the time I walked in the door, I felt that people loved me. They didn't wait to see who I was. They didn't wait to see what my values were. They didn't wait to see who I believed in. They didn't wait to know my politics. They didn't wait for any of it. It started out from a place of love, and it was a profound lesson and a life-changing lesson for me.
Yeah, that's why I believe love can save the world. I believe that. If everybody could feel that, imagine how we could transform things.
Love and forgiveness go together. And I think if you can forgive, you can love. If you love, you can forgive. I have a shortcut that I came up. It's one sentence long that enables you to forgive everybody. Everybody does the best they can all the time. There are no exceptions to that rule. If that's true, and I think it is, then forgiveness becomes automatic. And then you can love that person too.
It's good. I like that. Yeah, that everybody is doing the best they can with what they have. You know, there's family members that I don't speak to anymore that did the best they could with what they had, and I can recognize that and also recognize that I can't be around them, right? It still holds the same thing. So it's, you know, that's the power of love.
I would like to add something as it relates to that lady who responded to say that when you use the term God's speaker spoke to me, well, I can somewhat simplify it. It's like there is this term that we use back in Jamaica, if me did know. So you know that you're going to do this. You're not supposed to. You do it anyway. Okay, the result is exactly what you know it was going to be. Yet still you say to yourself, if me didn't know, me wouldn't bother do it, you know. But you did it. That's ignoring that inner voice. That inner person, that stillness that you listen to. I normally, for me personally, I like peace and serene, quiet. My wife, Sonia, will tell you, there are times when I just lock myself away. I just want to be me in my little space, quiet, just undisturbed. And that's when all the stillness come around me. I hear whispers, little voices, some loud enough for me to acknowledge. I am to do something, I'm going somewhere, and I'm thinking about it. And then I have a contradicting voice saying, don't do that. Don't go there. Forget that. Try this. And I'm like, questioning myself, why would I want to do that? And I'm questioning the voices, the reasons, and whatever, and the answers sometimes become so clear. That's not me talking to myself, is it? Crazy people do that. And I believe in the higher being. I do. Whether you call him God, Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, Yahshua, whatever you call him, I believe there is indeed a higher being. And if you listen close enough, especially when you're in doubt, use that part. When you're in doubt and you're not sure of what you are going to do, or you have somebody to confront and you're not sure how to face them, just take that time out. Sit to yourself. Really think through the situation, or think through what you want to say, and you will find some form of clarity. That's what I do. And it helps. And to me, that's God speaking. That's my way of, translating it.
Yeah. We're similar in that because I believe that because we are all made of the same star stuff, we all have that spark of divinity, that spark of creation within us. And so that's what I listen for, is that, to hear that voice that I have often, because of society, because of whatever, is pushed down and say, oh, no, that's dumb. I shouldn't listen to that. That's dumb. That's what you're listening for, And I used to say when I worked as a chaplain in the hospital, I believe we're all called on the same building. Just what extension do you need? Do you want to pray to God? Do you want to pray to Jesus? Do you want to pray? What extension do you want? I'm your switchboard operator. That's what I was there for, to pray with people, because we're all called on the same place. It's okay. We just have different names for it.
True.
So thank you for sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll add a little bit. I'm Sonia. You talk about love and loving from a distance. There's a particular individual in my family who, times past, hearing his name, I was so angry. Just I don't have to see him. I just want to hear his name.
Yep.
And I'm hitting the roof. And I find myself, somebody said to me, you don't have to be angry when you hear his name. Just pretend it is just not him. And another family member said to me, how can you not talk to him? I'm like, I think I might say something that I may regret, and I don't want to do that. So I'll stay over here, and you stay over there, and I love you from a light post length. Mm-hmm. The arm is too short. So let's place a light post between us, and I love you from here.
And I will say, as somebody who's just gone through it, therapy and EMDR is amazing. And I love it. And it has enabled me to be able to go, I love you for who you are. I just don't like you, and you are not safe for me. So we're going to just put you over here, but I still wish the best for you. I don't wish harm. I just want the best. And that's love, right? You can do that. It's very, intentionally choosing to show love can also be intentionally choosing to show love to myself, other members of my family who may need to see you can do that. You can break that bond enough to make it tolerable. So yeah, but still love them anyway. People are just people. They're doing the best they can, right, with what they got. And so we celebrate when those changes happen. And for a lot of people who are very, who have different thoughts than us, we'll put it that way, different values than us, as they are starting to realize and change, we need to celebrate those changes. We need to welcome them in with that love, not just go, well, it took you long enough. None of that, because that's not love, right? You keep that's inside voice. You keep that to yourself, okay? Outside you go, I am so glad. How, can I help you with anything? How are you doing? How are you feeling about your journey? That kind of thing, so.
Through the years, believe me, I've had a lot of political hatred when I saw what was happening to our government. And I have two brothers who were pro our current administration. Well, I'd just like to say that I realized, because I'm now in my 80s, that this is crazy to keep, like, you have a lot of hate for that one person. Our lives are so short. Why do we keep this hatred in us? Just do something to maybe overcome certain things. But I realized life is too short. And recently, I found out that one of my brothers has a serious problem. So it can take him away from this earth. How stupid am I? I've already lost my husband. To keep all this hatred inside. That's not what I think of when I think of Unitarians. I'm like the lady who felt love when she walked through the door here. So much love was given to me. I was very despondent. I was grieving. Life is too short to hold all this hatred in. I now am accepting people, you probably see this on Facebook, who don't think as I do, but I'm trying to extend a caring, loving hand because I've gotten to know them, and some of them are really suffering. Like one gentleman I met at the dog park said, and I'll end it after this, he said, "Do you know that I've been taking care of my wife for 10 years?" And this man is a lot younger than I am, and I really feel sorry for him. But he's a Trumpster, as I call him, and so I try not to talk about anything political with him. I don't want to upset him. Why? Why should I spew my hatred out on him? I don't want to do that. And I think life is too short, and I've realized that now at my age, finally.
Well, thank
try
you.
to get rid of the hatred.
And I've been whispered that that's our last comment. So thank you so much. Our benediction today is by Deborah Hafner. As we enter another week of uncertainty in the world, let us remember that there is only one side, that of humanity and planet Earth. May we pray for peace. May we raise our voices with our elected officials and engage as we can in acts of resistance. And may we remember to take very good care of ourselves, each other, and those we love. May we remember these words adapted from the Unity Prayer. The light of love surrounds us. Love enfolds us. The power of love protects us. Love watches over us. Wherever we are, love is. Thank you.